Good morning. So today I'm really focusing on getting prepared for the upcoming pandemic coronavirus, and today I'm going to make some homemade bread. I would feel more comfortable making it at home than running off to the grocery store. So let's get started. So this bread is so simple to make. You can make this in a cast iron Dutch oven, or rolls is what I'm going to do today. The rolls freeze very well, so everyone seems to like it. So what we start out with is 2.5 cups of flour. I've already got 2 cups in, so I just need to finish off with 1/2 cup. And you don't have to be picky about it being super precise. That's close enough. Okay. Every recipe I've come across, they call for adding about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but I found that to be way too salty, so I just add the smallest amount of salt. And what you do need is your yeast. I always buy the rapid rise yeast. It just seems to work better for me. I've tried other brands. I particularly like this one, and all you need is 1/4 teaspoon. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Most recipes don't call for sugar, but I like my bread a little bit sweeter, and I know that the yeast feeds off of the sugar. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. You can add a little bit of honey if you want, anything that's sweet. So basically, instead of doing 1/4 teaspoon of salt, I'm doing 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. And let me grab my whisk. So we're just going to whisk this together. We're talking 3 ingredients. 4 if you want to add the salt. So in the microwave, I'm going to warm up 1 1/4 cups of water. So let me get that started. I'm going to do it for a minute. And you have to have warm water to get the yeast to activate. You don't want it boiling hot, but you don't want it cool. Kind of to when you put your finger in there, it's a little on the too warm side. If you make it too hot, then the yeast will actually fail. If it's too cold, the dough won't rise. And this bread rolls, the day of, they're probably the best. They're warm, they're chapati-like on the outside, but soft on the inside. And the next day, I put them in the microwave to warm them up, and they were okay. When I put them in the toaster oven, they were better because the outside was still nice and crisp. Let me check my water. So that's pretty warm, and that was just 1 minute. What I did do before I put them in the toaster oven is I added a little layer of butter on the outside, made them really nice. I mean, this is our favorite rolls. So here is 1 1/4 cups of warm water. I could put my finger in there, and it feels like really like a hot bath. Simple. Grab my spatula. I don't mix it with a whisker because it just gets all gummy inside. So just take a spatula, you just start mixing it. At the grocery store this weekend, a loaf of bread was over $3. To buy a bag of self-rising flour and yeast, I don't know, less than $3. And this bucket here holds an entire bag of flour, and I get many, many loaves of bread or rolls out of it. So I'm spending pennies to make some bread. And there's no additives, there's no preservatives. What you see is what you get. If you want to feed your family something more nutritious, then this is the way to go. Plus, if you can't get to the grocery store, and you've got this on hand, and you're out of bread, it doesn't take much effort, but less than 5 minutes doing this. So you just want to kind of get it all incorporated into a little ball. See, I've got a little bit at the bottom, so just kind of get that in there. You don't even need to get your hands dirty for this part. There we go. Okay. I cover mine with plastic wrap. I have covered it with a towel and it doesn't seem to rise as well. Plastic wrap seems to hold in some of the warmth and humidity. It rises better. And you do want to put it in a warmer part of the kitchen so it rises. And the fun part is kind of figuring out a spot on your bowl, and then in an hour you see how it rises and it starts to get bubbly. So you're going to want to let this rise for 3 hours. I have gone out and done other things and gone for 4 hours. It's just as fine. So we'll be back in about 3 hours.